All right, guys, so we're working on 9.3 today. This is basically just a redone version of 9.1 and 2. So on the video, I'm going to go through and set up your systems. You guys should be able to solve them on your own. I will give you the answers, though, and you can always ask me questions in class. So let's go ahead and get started with number one. One number is 6 less than 5 times the number. Their difference is 22. It says find the numbers. Now, we're not really looking for anything specific besides two numbers, so I'm just going to say that x equals one number and that y equals another number. Now, if I read the first question or the first sentence, it tells me how to write my first equation. One of my numbers, so I'm going to say x equals, is 6 less than 5 times the other. So I'm going to have to take the other number. I know it's going to be 5 times that number, but 6 less than that. 6 less implies subtraction. So I have x equals 5y minus 6. Now it says their difference is 22. Difference means subtraction. So I'm going to say x minus y equals 22. So there's my system. Now it's set up for substitution because I have x equals. So I can plug 5y minus 6 in for x. Once you do that, you can solve for y. Once you find y, you can plug it back in and solve for x. Now, if you do this, you should get that x equals 29 and y equals 7. So it's the same exact process we've done all the other 2 days. So look back at that, but of course it's worked out in the notes in class. Let's go to number 2. The perimeter of a rectangular garden is 46 feet. The length of the garden is 5 feet less than 3 times the width. Find the area of the garden. So what I'm talking about in this is length and width. So I'm going to say L, I'm going to say L equals length and that W equals width. Now, we talked yesterday about perimeter of any rectangle. If you have a rectangle, you would add up all the sides to find perimeter. You'd have 2 lengths plus your 2 widths. And it tells us in the question that our perimeter is 46, so equals 46. There's our first equation. Now the next one says the length of the garden is 5 feet less than 3 times the width. That lets me know that the L, or the length, is bigger, so I'm going to say L equals. I'm going to throw a W over there. Now they're not equal. We have to do some stuff to W to make them equal. Well, it says it's 5 less than 3 times the width, so 3 times the width, 5 less than that, would be minus 5. So again, we have our 2 equations and it looks like it's set up for substitution because I know L is 3W minus 5. So I'm going to plug it in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the plug in here because this time we're going to have some distribution. That's 2 times our L value, 3W minus 5, plus 2W equals 46. Now you can go from here to find the width. Just make sure you distribute across the parentheses, combine like terms, and solve for W. Once you find W, you can plug that back in and find L. Now it asks for the area. Remember, area of a rectangle is length times width. So once you find both of those, you can plug them in. Now when I got mine, I got the length to be 16, it looks like feet. I got the width to equal 7 feet. And then I got the area, which is the actual solution to the whole problem. I got it to equal 112 feet squared, or 112 feet squared. So you can work that out, solve for W and L, and you can find the rest. Let's go to the next one. Now this is exactly the same question we did yesterday, except for now we're talking about quarters, and we have different totals. It says Jill collects nickels and quarters. So my 2 subjects are nickels and quarters. I'm going to say Q is quarters and N is nickels. So she has 30 coins and they amount to $5.10. How many quarters does she have? Now the first one says she has 30 coins, so if I take the number of quarters, add to it the number of nickels, I should get her total number of coins, which is 30. So it's just like what we did yesterday. Now we're going to use the $5.10, so we need to get their values in there. A quarter is worth 0.25 cents, or 0.25. So 2.25 times the number of quarters gives me that much money. A nickel is worth 0.05. So 0.05 times n gives me the amount of money I have in nickels. And if I add that to the amount of money I have in quarters, I get $5.10. So this one looks like it's set up for elimination. It says that we're going to try to find quarters, so you want to try to eliminate n. So if I was going to eliminate n, I would multiply the top equation by negative 0.05. The number that's in front of the other end, but since they're both positive, I need to make it negative. So you can distribute that 0.05 over those parentheses, then you can solve for quarters. When you do that, you should end up that you have 18 quarters. All right, so let's go to the next page. Number 4 is very, very similar to a problem we did yesterday, except it's a little easier. Adult tickets to a basketball game are $5, students are $3. They sold 90 tickets and made $334. How many adult tickets were sold? So we're talking about adult tickets, so A equals adult. And I'm going to say S equals the student ticket. Now, it told us they sold 90 tickets, so if I take the amount of adult tickets plus the amount of student tickets, it should equal 90. So A plus S equals 90. Now I need to factor in costs. I know each adult ticket is $5, so $5 times the number of adult tickets gives me that amount of money. I know that each student ticket is $3, so 3 times S gives me the amount of money we made off of students. And I know they made $334. So they're asking us for adult tickets here, so we probably want to cancel out our student tickets. I can do that sort of like I did on the last one. I'm going to take the number that's in front of the other S3. Since they're both positive, I'm going to make it negative, and I'm going to distribute over my parentheses. Remember, dude, it's all 3 pieces. Now when I do that, the S's will cancel. I can solve for A, and I'll have my answer. If you do this, you should get that they sold 32 adult tickets. So A equals 32. Now let's go to the last one. This is probably the trickiest. It says Jason and a group of his friends went out to eat pizza on 2 different occasions. The first time they spent $21.14 for 4 Cokes and 2 pizzas. The second time the bill was $39.70 for 6 Cokes and 4 pizzas. What would the price be for a 1 Coke and 1 pizza? So guys, you need to keep it in mind. They're not necessarily asking for what Cokes and pizzas cost. They want to know what 1 Coke and 1 pizza together costs. So we're talking about pizza and Coke. I'm going to say that C equals my Coke price and that P equals my pizza. And now I'm just going to read through these and set up my equations. It says the first time the bill was $21.14 for 4 Cokes, so 4 times C, plus 2 pizzas, 2 times P, and it said it equaled $21.14. The second sentence says he got 6 Cokes and 4 medium pizzas, so 6 Cokes, plus 4 pizzas, and that time they spent $39.70. Now we have our system of equations and we can solve it. Now, you get to choose which one to eliminate because one of them is not really set up for the other. You could eliminate C or P. We chose to eliminate P in class. Well, if I want to look at how I can make this 2 turn into -4. Well, to do that, I can multiply the top one by -2. So once you do that, you'll solve for C and you'll get your C. I found that C equaled $1.19. Once you have that $1.19, you could plug that into either equation for C, and you get the pizza price, which I got was $7.99. But that's not what they asked for. They want to know how much a pizza plus 1 Coke costs. So $7.99 plus $1.19 gives us our total of $9.28, which is our final answer. So guys, if you have any questions on that, feel free to come and ask me in class. I hope this helps. Good luck.